Good afternoon, sports and volleyball fans. This is Quick Set powered by Smart 5G. We are still live here at the Lasal Green Hills Gym for the semifinals of the 2025 Shakey's Girls Volleyball Invitational League Rising Stars Cup. My name is Diana Igual, still your courtside reporter, together with Sheila Salaysay and Caitlin Bernal for the last semis match of the day. Now, before we go into our match at hand, let's look back at all the teams moving forward and will be competing for the finals round tomorrow. Completing the finals cast for Division 2, we have the Everest International Academy and the Domuscola International School, who both won in 3 straight sets earlier. Now, moving on to the semis matches, or moving on to the finals for Division 1, we've just seen another 3 straight set win from the National University Nazareth School Lady Pool Pops, who went up against the Emilio Aguinaldo College Lady Brigaders. Now, in just a while, we'll be seeing our teams from, or our last 2 teams from Division 1 battling it out to complete the finals cast for this year's Shakey's GVIL. Again, one more match to end today's semis volleyball action. Stay tuned with us as this quick set is powered by Smart 5G.
And there you go. We are in our last semifinals division game. This is, of course, the Bacolod Tung going up against the Salle-Lipa for Division 1 semifinals. And good afternoon, volleyball fans. Still here, Sheila Salaysay, together with Caitlin Bernal. And you heard earlier, that is our courtside reporter, Diana Marie Igual, bringing you the action. Bago magtapos, ito ang ating torneo at mapunta tayo sa ating championship or finals game as we take a look at our brackets. At dahil nga kung babalikan natin ang mga naging kaganapan ng ating mga laro in this one whole week of volleyball action, 30 teams, 4 pools at 2 division, at yan ay maglalaban-laban lahat for this year's title of the Shakey's Super League Girls Volleyball Invitational League Rising Star Cup. Yan, yes, Caitlin, can you break down what happened in the playoff brackets?
So just the game before this, we saw NUNS win over EAC in 3 straight sets. And now we have Bacolod Taitong going up against De La Salle-Lipa for that other finals game ticket. And here, Bacolod Taitong also undefeated in our tournament right now. And De La Salle-Lipa only having 1 loss in our tournament. So we're going to see a very thrilling game and exciting match here today.
Yes, you are correct right there. Now, let's take a look at what happened in Bacolod Taitong's quarters game result. And that happened last June 5, and where they won against a Far Eastern University in straight sets, 25-22, 27-25.
Yes, straight sets, but look at the score for the second set. It was an extended match for both of these teams, just showing how powerful the team Bacolod Taitong had to defeat, 27-25.
That's correct. And of course, in that match, nakita nga natin kung sino yung mga umaangat. But on the other side, let's look at the De La Salle-Lipa's previous quarters game result.
They went up against the previously undefeated Arellano University, going three sets, 2-1, and we have 25-23, 17-25, but they were able to bounce back in the last set to win 25-19.
Now the question is, can the Thunderbolts repeat over the Green Stallions, or the De La Salle-Lipa School avenge their earlier defeat and advance to the finals? Now let me turn you over to our game announcer.
Of the Thunderbolts, Ian Macariola. Now let's meet the starters of the De La Salle-Lipa Green Stallions. Let's start with our opposite hitter and our team captain at number 5, Kyle Aldovino. Outside hitter number 10, Sassen Ramirez. Setter number 13, Thea Dacer. Millwalker number 17, Rai Mamailaw. Outside hitter number 18, Vel Sumagi. Millwalker number 19, Maxine Sumagaysay. Starting libero at number 4, Tams Ginto. Head coach of the Green Stallions, Aimee Mendoza. versus the Green Stallions. This is the Shakey Super League Girls Volleyball Invitational Rising Stars Cup 2025. Good luck to both teams.
And there you have it, the starters of Bacolod Tung and Adela Salle-Lipa. Nakapaglaro na sila during the eliminations. Of course, Caitlin, and it was the girls in blue and white won over the girls wearing green jerseys in their previous match, and that went straight sets in favor of Bacolod Tung, but it was a close match. But we will see this time kung magagawa ba ulit ito ng Bacolod Tung, or the girls of Coach Aimee will make it more interesting before they go to the finals. And set number 1 is underway. This is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. What a hit, but it was easily picked up by Lipa. One more time down the line, and that is a go for Bacolod Tung.
Bacolod Tung just boasting their offensive power right off the bat here to open set number 1. But still, we saw a glimpse of the defense of De La Salle-Lipa, and I'm sure they're very determined to also avenge their loss against the school that they've already
That's
gone up
right.
against.
Yes. First service ace for Bacolod Tung, and this serve of the game is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. That is John Rose Bulak. First received by Sales. And that time, Sumage just hitting in between the blocker's hands.
Very clean hit there. No defenders as well to pick that up. And it looks like De La Salle-Lipa would definitely give a fight here in our semifinals match.
Mamaylao on deck. Quick attack, and that will work. Bartolome from Bacolod Tung.
Now we're seeing the middle blockers being activated on the side of Bacolod Tung.
On your screens, that's Coach Ian Macariola, and has been the head coach of these girls for quite a while now, as Rose Almendralejo gives up their first service error. Althea Dacer serving for Lipa. Bulak giving this one off speed. Naiangat yan dito. We'll try the opposite. And there's a whistle. Violation called against Bacolod Tung. We are now tied at 3. Becer still serving. From the opposite of the block. Earns a point for Bertolano.
Bertolano with a hit from the right wing, going long on that hit, spotting the players, spotting the laps in defense in La Salle side.
Serving is Camila Bartolome. Middle blocker for Bacolod Tung. In the middle, picked up easily. Cross court, Sales was there. To the bag, that is a no-go. Babawi ang La Salle. Opposite, and that is in.
That's another successful hit from the opposite side for Bacolod Tung, and it seems to be really working out for them. And I guess too early to say who's taking the momentum in this matchup, since Bacolod Tung is still leading just by 2 points. So let's see how La Salle will try and bounce back.
Good first ball. Attack from the opposite, rejected. Try attack from the back. And that Ramirez heading that towards the net.
Sort of a miscommunication there on the side of Salle-Lipa. And the Bacolod Titans' lead is now increasing.
You are correct. They are up by 3. Make that 2 because of that service error. Sumage serving for Salle-Lipa. Attack from the open and too much power for Ginto.
That was a good setup there. Not the best of receives, but still nagawa ng paraan ng setter ng Bacolod Titong yon to execute that very powerful spike.
Walang nakahabol to defend the net against Bacolod. Sharp serve. And the blockers, you have De Leon in front, of course.
The blockers of Bacolod now coming alive. First we saw their attacks, and now they're making sure that their net defense is here in our match today.
8 serving 4. One hand there. Setup did not work for Salle-Lipa. Wow, that's a good block by the girls in green, and Bacolod Titong forces an error.
Salle-Lipa also showing us that they have a very established block, great block there to try and cut their deficit.
Yes, pero ito pakinggan muna natin ang kwento ni Diana Igual.
Sheila and Caitlin, when I had the chance to talk to head coach Amy Mendoza earlier, she said that heading into today's match, the mindset is really simple. This moment has been long overdue because for the past seasons, they haven't made it to the semifinals, and out of all the leagues they've joined, this is the only one where they've yet to break into the top 4. Now, while being in the semis and having a strong record is a privilege, coach emphasized that more than anything, they just don't want to walk away with regrets, knowing they had what it takes but fell short. So today, it's all really about playing with purpose and the belief that this might finally be their time. Sheila and Caitlin.
Thank you for that, Diana. What do you think of that report, Caitlin?
Well, it just shows that the girls in green here are very excited and very prepared for our matchup today. And now we're seeing that kind of enthusiasm early in this set number 1. And they're now taking out their combination plays. And I guess Diana was right that the girls here don't want to leave with regrets, but also they want to leave feeling very accomplished and very fulfilled because they have been able to achieve they have been able to achieve something that they haven't before now that they're here in our semifinals cast.
Well, these two are no strangers. Ilang beses na rin silang nagkatapat. Nung nakaraan sa palarong pambansa and other tournaments. And isa lang nga yung sinabi ni Coach Amy in that report. It's just to, break, knowing Bacolod Titong is one of the strongest teams, strongest high school teams, to emphasize that fact. But not in that last sequence. What a quick play.
That is...
And that smart-powered up play was brought to you by Smart's Power All 99. Load now. Caitlin.
We see here Salle-Lipa's offense starting to come alive as well, starting to match the rhythm of Bacolod Titong. And they've been able to cut their deficit to 1, but now it's back to 2.
Yes, and because of that attack from Rose Almendralejo, went over the blocker's hands. And alam mo nga, earlier I was able to had a chat with Sir Boy Montalvo. He's the manager of Bacolod Titong, and sabi lang niya sa akin, tuwing nakakaharap daw sila ng ibang teams, mas lalong ginaganahan yung kalaban nila kapag sila yung kalaban. They've been scouting lahat ng games ng opponents nila, and it's different pag sila yung katapat.
Well, I guess everyone knows how strong of a team Bacolod Titong is. I mean, all the stars in collegiate volleyball right now, a lot of them came from this very strong program here from Bacolod. So,
And
yeah, it's nice.
Yes,
it's nice to see them here right now against Salle-Lipa, and I'm excited to see what Salle-Lipa will have against Bacolod Taytong.
And that is Sir Boy you've seen earlier, and the founder, actually the one who started the grassroots program for Bacolod Taytong. Kaya naman isa sila sa mga inaabangan na teams in the country. Let's take a look at that replay as Rose Almendralejo again hitting that cross court. Taytong up by 2, 11 serving 9. Too wide of an attack for Salle-Lipa. Serving 9. And the setter of Taytong serving. Drop did not work for Salle-Lipa. And that's a successful one, sabi ni Rose Almendralejo. That's my version of a drop.
Rose Almendralejo, definitely one of the key players here for Bacolod Taytong against their quarterfinals matchup against FEU Diliman. She was able to score 7 points, and now we see her here trying to replicate that performance against a very determined Salle-Lipa.
Solid block of Bacolod Taytong, and that's Bertolano. And of course, tandem with Bartolome in front. Timeout called here. We'll be right back.
Hindi aabot ang data. Nice!
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
My future.
Right? What's the plan?
I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
Back inside the LaSalle Green Hills Gym, Mandaluyong City, and we have our player in focus. This is presented by PusoP.com. Join now for free. And this is from the De La Salle-Lipa. We have Daniel Aldovino.
So she was one of the key players in their quarterfinals victory against the recently crowned NCAA Girls Volleyball Champions. So she was able to lock in 9 points. 8 of those were from attacks and 1 from an ace. So she really is one of the offensive leaders here on the side of Salle-Lipa.
Yes, very instrumental in their victory. But we will see, if she can, of course, lead the team to win this match against the formidable Bacolod Taytong. Cross-court hit for the girls in white, leading by 5, 15, serving 10. And on deck, you have Almendralejo. A drop, nabasa yan ng libero ng Taytong, naibalik, setting this one. Good pickup. Sales was there. Down the line, and that will work for De La Salle-Lipa, courtesy of Sumage.
Very smart of her to go down the line. Actually, nakita yun ng defender ng Bacolod Taytong. But of course, so much speed and so much power was able to do the job on that play.
11 serving 15. Althea Dacer on deck. Opposite, cross court, and there's a check. Puntos yan para sa Bacolod Taytong.
That was Bertolano on that cross-court hit. Actually, it looked like it was going to sail out, but a last-minute touch by Salle-Lipa allowed that point to go to Bacolod.
16 serving 11. Camila Bartolome. Good adjustment, but that ball goes out.
Not the best of receives here for Salle-Lipa.
And we can see Coach Aimee reiterating how important their first ball is. Bacolod Taitung slowly slipping away, except in that last service error given up by Bacolod Taitung. Althea Sumage. Floater, almost a point there. Wow, what a rocket hit from Bacolod Taitung. And that is Ana Hermosura. That smart powered up play was brought to you by Smart's Power All 99. Load now. Anim ang kalamangan dito ng Bacolod Taitung. And that is their fourth service error. Ramos checks in for Bacolod Taitung, replacing Bertolano, Alexa Bertolano. Bulak, quick. Another chance to set up. At nakabawi nga doon ang Bacolod Taitung. In an instant, you have the team captain, Donna De Leon.
That was a good quick attack hit. They didn't get it the first time around, but they tried again, and that was a very powerful and speedy quick attack to go long.
Anim ang lamang ng Bacolod Taitung. This set, 19 serving 13. No good intentions though, but the poor execution in that last attack coming from Salle-Lipa.
She was going for that down the line hit, but unfortunately, just too much angle there.
Timeout called. Let's listen in to Salle-Lipa.
Yung nakukuhang off sa kanila o nabibigay na off, pero nato-convert pa rin nila sa puntos o nako-convert pa rin nila sa off. Tayo naman, samantalang off na nga nabigay natin sa kanila, doon tayo mababa. Mababa ang porsyento nating mag-convert. Convert! Wala tayong conversion eh. Thank you, Lord. Let's go!
That huddle was powered up Smart 5G.
Very clear instructions there by the head coach of Salle-Lipa. She's asking for players to convert more because despite Bacolod Taitung being given some shaky balls, they're still able to convert and turn that into a point as opposed to Salle-Lipa.
And service error easily given away by Bacolod Taitung. But what do you think is the difficulty here, Caitlin? Bakit hindi sila makakonvert?
Well, other than the quality of their defense, it just really calls for Salle-Lipa's setter to try and lead the team into playing cleaner, especially on the transition, para naman makapunto sila.
Lucky break in that last sequence as the Taitung committed a net violation. Easy point given to Salle-Lipa. 14 serving 20. This is Aldovino, our player in focus, as she gets a point from the service area. They will be needing more of that. The leadership of Aldovino definitely is a plus. But on the other side of the court, Rose Almendralejo is back. Bulak giving this one to Donna. Quick setup. Excellent play. No defense on the side of the girls in green.
We've seen that before. They're very effective on that quick attack. And Salle-Lipa will definitely want to adjust to that and try and stop those quick attacks, hopefully with blocks or with floor defense.
Good first ball. We'll see if they can get a point. Aldovino's giving this one to the open off speed, and yes, Ramirez earning a point.
Not the strongest of hits from Ramirez, but still enough to catch the defenders of Bacolod Taitung off guard.
Salle-Lipa chasing a 5-point lead. Set number 1, best of 5. Did you see kung paano sinet up ni Bulak yun? Free ball, chance for Bacolod Taitung. Combination play, but that's a no-go. Net violation. At this time, it's Coach Ian Macariola calling for a timeout. Magbabalik po kami.
Hindi aabot ang data. Nice!
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
My future.
Right? What's the plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
You are still watching the semifinals game. This is Bacolod Taitung High School and Salle-Lipa School of Division 1. As Ramirez gaining a point from the service area after the timeout.
You see Ramirez here contributing some points for her team earlier on that off-speed hit and now from the service line.
Unusual, no? Usually pag tumatawag ng timeout yung kalaban, it's breaking their momentum. But for Ramirez, that wasn't effective. Pero nakabawi naman agad si Rose Almendralejo in that last frame.
Almendralejo here unfazed by the block in front of her. That was a solid block, but still they were not able to cover that on the side of Lipa.
Angat sa 4 ang kalamangan ng Taitung. Good first ball. Cross court, pero naiangat yan ang libero ng Taitung. It's Almendralejo once again hitting down the line this time.
Almendralejo on a roll here as they are on their way to taking this first set.
Alam mo yung character ni Rose on the floor is totally different off the court. Sobrang kulit, sobrang jolly na niya Almendralejo. And she said she feels pressure kasi nga yung ate niya, following the steps of her sister. It's a totally pressure for her, pero seems she can manage it. She's making a name for herself. Meanwhile, back on the floor, Bacolod Taitung off the block. Chance. Oh, that's a solid block against Almendralejo. Attack from the back ends the rally. Went in favor of Bacolod Taitung.
We're seeing great composure here on the side of Bacolod Taitung because they don't have the best of touches on the first ball, but still they're able to convert there as opposed to Salle-Lipa, who's struggling with their communication, giving all those free balls to Bacolod.
Taitung at set point. At a set point save right there by Salle-Lipa, courtesy of Sumage. Substitution, lalabas dito si Riza Mamaylao. And Miranda checks in as the defense specialist. For Taitung, Jonel Ramos is out. Alexa Bertolano checks in. First ball and miss-hit, pero naiangat yan ng Salle-Lipa. Off speed, will not go. One more try. Still, the ball is up, but there's a whistle. Lifting, violation is called against Taitung, and that's another set point save for the girls of Coach Aimee.
Great hustle we're seeing from both teams, especially on the floor. And now, Salle-Lipa has another chance to possibly turn this set around.
Not that with that service error. That's a gift. Easy point given to Bacolod Taitung. And just like that, First set was won by the girls of Coach Iyad Bacariola. 25-20 is our score.
Don't worry! Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Shakey's fun goes on and on and on, on and on and on. Shakey's got it going on, we still bring the fun.
With decades of great pizza, chicken, and mojos.
Shakey's fun goes on and on.
From era to era to era. The fun goes on. Shakey's 50 years.
The fun goes on at Shakey's.
My future.
Right? What's a plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
25-20 is the score of set number 1. Bacolod Taitung getting their first win, set win against the Salle-Lipa. And you would like to, you love how the girls of Bacolod Taitung playing this time. At nakita nga natin kanina, wala pa dito si Brianna Ang. Right? One of the key players so far for these girls. And at first, syempre, ang ganda ng naging takbo ng storya nila at the beginning of the first set. Seesaw battle yan, but slowly, Bacolod Taitung able to, step on the gas at talagang umusad na sila. But at the middle of this set, Salle-Lipa, still trying to halt yung ginagawang pagpupuntos dito ng Bacolod Taitung. But it was definitely a team effort for these two teams.
That is very clear. With the amount of attacks, Bacolod Taitung was able to collect 16 against 7 and 2 blocks against 1. So we really see the offensive depth that Bacolod Taitung has showcased, and let's see how LaSalle will try and adjust to that in the second
That's
set.
correct. As we begin set number 2, and this is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now. First point will go to good first ball. Attack from the back. Did not work. Good pickup. Right there. That's a really slow, low set. Bulak. A bit of hesitation in that setup and attack.
They tried to go for that quick attack. Again, they had the perfect setup, but still, the Salle-Lipa's blockers were able to prevail on that play.
Napatingin na lang dito si Hermosura kay Bulak. They're just telling her, there's a parang may mali sa setup natin. But we'll see if they can recover from the other side. Too high of a drop. The Salle-Lipa is checking, hit down the line rather. Binalik agad yan ng Bacolod Taitung. Drop. Picked up by Bulak. Wow, solid rejection right there, but there was a coverage for Bacolod. That rally was won by the girls in green.
Great rally and great hustle there from both teams, but still, Salle-Lipa was able to spot the lapse in defense on the side of Bacolod Taitung.
Salle-Lipa having a 3-point lead at the start of this set. And on deck is Erika Libang. Kargadong serve. Naiangat pa yan ng Bacolod Taitung. Chance for Salle-Lipa and that goes long. Oh, there's a check. According to our officials, a better performance at the beginning of this second set.
That's two points in a row for Riza Mamailiao.
Service error ang ibinigay dito ng Salle-Lipa. Rose Almendralejo now serving. Oh, reflexes talaga ng Bacolod Taitung. Nakikita mo, no? Yung reaction nila. Walang lalapag na bola. Violation is called again. Laban dito sa Taitung.
Salle-Lipa very determined to turn things around here in set number 2 as they're leading by 4 points.
A sharp serve and an ace by Mamailiao.
That's Riza Mamailiao again providing some firepower for Salle-Lipa.
Good first ball this time. Oh, powerful cross-court attack. And you can see the face of Hermosura. She really means business.
She was determined to finally end the bleeding here for Bacolod Taitung with a powerful cross-court kill.
Taitung chasing a 4-point lead. Good pickup right there. Bulak says this one to Hermosura again. Puntos para dito sa Bacolod Taitung.
Hermosura now had some blockers in front of her, but still she was able to convert that into a point, targeting the opposite hand for that off-the-block hit.
Freeze serving 6. Humahabol dito ang Bacolod Taitung. Ang galing, no? I mean, that attacker from the middle, Sumage, really sees the opening on the defense of Bacolod.
Definitely, it wasn't an easy angle to spike from, but still, she was able to get a kill from there.
7 serving 3 is our score. Bulak sets this one to the opposite. And Donna De Leon gets that point.
Great move there on the side of Bacolod to go to their opposite side, given that the previous points were coming from the open wing.
4 serving 7. Service ace. That is a very intentional from Bertolano.
Very impressive here on her side, targeting that really difficult angle just enough to touch the line.
True. Baba sa 2 ang hinahabol ng Taitung. Mas kargado yung serve niya this time. And De Leon towering and safeguarding that net against Salle-Lipa.
De Leon making it look so easy, an effortless denial. She just jumped, put her hands in the air, and that was an easy point for Bacolod Taitung.
She is actually graduating of Bacolod Taitung and going to the Blue Eagles for college. And I asked her kanina, Caitlin, if she feels any pressure, pero sabi niya, she's not that excited. Kasi mas gusto pa niyang tapusin o laruin itong Bacolod Taitung for Shakey's. But let's turn you over to Diana for this report.
Sheila and Caitlin, as you said, one of Bacolod Taitung's key players, Donna May De Leon, is graduating this year. And she shared to me how she's been competing at the high school level since grade 7, making this her 6th and final year in the circuit. And now just looking ahead, she's set to play for Ateneo. And one more thing she shared was that there was really no question about it. The moment Coach O reached out to her, it was a done deal, no tryouts anywhere else, no second thoughts, just Ateneo all the way. Sheila and Caitlin.
Thank you for that report, Diana. At sabi nga niya, when I asked her the same question, bakit Ateneo? It's the school. Diba, definitely sa ganda na naging programa nila, and she has a very solid fundamentals and been playing for quite a while for Bacolod Taitung.
Sheila, as an Atenean myself, I'm very excited to hear this news that such a talented player like De Leon is set to help the Blue Eagles stamp their name again into UAAP's very well-known program.
At mag-aabot nga sila doon ng kanyang ate, si Casey Cortez, also a product of Bacolod Taitung, who had big shoes to fill. Diba, pagpasok niya, first setter siya agad. I mean, it's definitely, I think, a privilege and ang laki ng tiwala sa kanya nitong Ateneo. Meanwhile, back to the ball game as Bulak sends this one to the open, rejected, goes to the other side, or rather from the back, picked up. Cross-court attack. Just went through the blocker's hands. Deserves a second look, but that smart power play was brought to you by Smart's Power All 99 Load Now. Magbabalik po kami.
Nice!
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
My future.
Right? What's a plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
On your screens, that is Rose Almendraleo, and you are watching the last semifinals game between Bacolod Taitung and De La Salle-Lipa. First set was won by Bacolod Taitung, but this time it's the girls in green leading at this part of the match. Pero naibabayan dito ni De Leon in that last setup.
What a hit there by De Leon. Kudos to her setter for that very perfect set. Just enough for her to really slam that ball down for a point.
Combination play, but picked up. Solid rejection at the net. And Mamay Lao really just taking the lead here, both in defense and offense.
That block was perfectly placed and perfectly timed. And it seems like LaSalle here has turned things around as they are now leading by enough points for them to cement.
Collision on the side of Taitung. Pero naibalik pa nila the second time around. Free ball for La Salle-Lipa. 3 times in a row, same spot for the girls in green.
That's another point by Mamay Liao, now going for this drop right in the middle of Bacolod Taitong's court.
Serving 8. And Rose Almendralejo saying this has to stop, earning a point for her team. Let's look at this one more time.
That was a much needed point on the side of Bacolod Taitong. And now let's see how they'll plan to regroup to bounce back and try and cut their deficit down.
Bulak to the opposite. There was a block right there. Try the other side, pero naiangat pa rin niya ng Lipa. That rally ended in favor of Taitung.
Untimely error there on the side of Lipa, but Hopefully that this doesn't deter their momentum too much.
Bulak serving for Taitung, 10 serving 13. Attack from the opposite, off the block. Hermosura to Bulak. Setting this one to Almendralejo. This girl continues to score.
Almendralejo with a very powerful quick attack there, going long. Just clean kill there, no defenders to pick that up.
Timeout called right here. Pakinggan natin.
Other side, sa left side. Pasa tayo, absorb the ball. Kung anong mabigay muna, cut lang tayo ng isa. Pasok si Fel sa una. Ha? O, kinat ko na ang service. Tara. Pagtulong-tulungan. Lord, say ito palagi. Let's go! Sol!
And the huddle was powered by Smart 5G.
That was Coach Mendoza reminding their girls to help each other there on the court. Especially here na binibigatan na ng Bacolod Taytong yung mga palo nila as they're determined to obtain the lead once again.
Eleven serving 13. Setting this one. Off speed. Pero naiangat niya ni Hermosura. Unstoppable in this part of the match is Almendralejo. You know, with that points she's getting for her team only justifies Hakot Award yan ng palarong pambansa. Best scorer, best open hitter.
It's been a very successful past few weeks here for Almendralejo, and she seems to be determined to continue that run.
And finally, you see Brianna contributing at the net, getting her first point, and ngayon lang natin siya nakita in this part of the match. Drop. Good pickup right there. Setting this one to the opposite, and that ties our game. Earlier, and Taitung taking the lead.
Taitung just moving like a well-oiled machine here. We saw hits from the open side and now a point from the opposite side.
Good floater. Mamaylaw off the block. Hermosura. A drop this time will not work for Taitung. Combination play. Nandun ang libero ng Taitung. And Almendralejo again.
Almendralejo with that clever drop ball. Even I didn't expect that she was going to do that, but now having a favorable lead against Salle-Lipa.
You can see the volleyball IQ of these girls at a very young age. Already knows how to be smart on the floor. The fluidity of the movement is also right there. Good drop. Hermosura from the back. Naiangat pa rin yan ng Lipa. Bulak sets this one up to Ang. Good rally we're seeing right here. And that is Rose with a hammer down the line. At yan nga, we are seeing Bacolod Taytong really making a name at dumadagong dong. Kaya nga sila Bacolod Taytong Thunderbolts. At itong mga fans na nakita natin earlier, he's just one of the many who went here just to see these girls play.
Definitely, and here Bacolod Taytong definitely not disappointing their fans with how they're playing with so much composure but also so much power. Lalo na tong si Almendralejo.
Bulak bibigay sa gitna and Ang, just a tip. Work for Taytong.
That's a successful setup to Ang there right in the middle, and Salle-Lipa allowing that clean point there for Bacolod Taytong.
And you just like that, the Taytong already leading by 4 here. One hand set. And that's too high. Another attack error committed by De La Salle-Lipa. Kaya naman mapapatawag ng timeout dito si Coach Aimee. Let's listen in.
Boss, pasa lang tayo. Mag-provide ng magandang pasa. Yun lang talaga ang nawala. Wala tayong problema lahat. Just give a good pass. Setter, kung anong ibigay. Conviction na pumatay. Power tip kung ano man. Sana makuha po. Let's go!
And that huddle was powered by Smart 5G.
That was head coach Imelda Mendoza again reminding her players the importance of the first ball that they are lacking right now in set number 2, and also the conviction in their third attacks, especially since that last play was lost because of
Earlier this set, Caitlin, they were leading itong girls ng La Salle-Lipa. Pero towards the middle part of this set, unti-unting nabawi yan ng Taitung. What happened in that part of the match?
Well, Bacolod Taitong's composure definitely powered through that despite La Salle-Lipa leading there by 3 points. They played their usual game. They fed their attackers some good balls, and now Bacolod Taitong, of course, did not waste that opportunity.
Well, speaking of not wasting the opportunity, again, Taitung maximizing their chances and getting a point from the service area courtesy of Bulak. And there's substitution on the floor for La Salle-Lipa. 6 na ang kalamangan dito ng Taitung. We'll see Rose Almendralejo just putting it down.
Rose Almendralejo powering through that block in front of her, and so much speed with a heavy spike there to bring her team to the 20s now in set number 2.
20 serving 13. Cross court, picked up by Bulak. Setting this one to Rose. Nakuha yan ng La Salle-Lipa. Mamaylaw. Picked up by Tobias. Rose one more time. Is a no-goal. Just an off-speed hit for Taitung. Longest rally, I believe. And that is still a point going to Bacolod Taitung.
Rose Almendralejo is unstoppable here in set number 2. And that wasn't the most powerful of hits from her, but still she knew where she wanted to place that ball. And La Salle-Lipa thought it was going to sail out, but they were mistaken on that play.
You know, she was playing smart volleyball kanina nung hindi pa ganun katagal yung rally. Tinitingnan niya muna kung saan niya dadalhin yung bola. Looking at the opponent scored, kung saan yung open, you can see the versatility and definitely the maturity on the floor by these girls. I believe Almendralejo earned like 6 points. At papapahinga siya ngayon. They are leading big in this second set. As De La Salle-Lipa trying to cope from this huge lead. Bulak serving. And Brianna Ang, solid rejection at the net. No coverage for the girls in green.
That was a better receive on the side of La Salle-Lipa, but still Brianna Ang was here to deny that attempt by La Salle-Lipa.
(22) serving 13. De Silva ipinasok dito. Replacing Ramirez. Hermosura to Bulak. Opposite. Too long of an attack.
Very rare error that we see here from Bacolod Taitong. But of course, they have some room for that given that they are leading here by a large margin in set number 2.
Quick setup. Brianna Ang putting a stop.
What a hit there by Brianna Ang. First of many quick attack hits that we're going to see from her.
Serving 14. Too wide of an attack.
That's going to bring Bacolod Taitong to set point. So no more room for error here on the side of Salle-Lipa.
Set point for Taitung. Serve goes out. Set point save. Still up ahead. Salle-Lipa chasing a 9-point lead. Off the block. Lipa will try. And that is out. What a turn of events for this part of the match. Caitlin na unang umangat dito at makalamang ang Salle-Lipa pero binawi yan dito ng Bacolod Taitung and that gives them their second set win, 25-15.
Hindi aabot ang data.
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
The fun goes on and on and on, on and on and on. To the break of dawn, fun is never done. Shakey's fun goes on and on. Hero to hero, what a ride. With each new decade, a fun new side. Still serving smiles on every plate. 50 great years, let's celebrate. Shakey's fun goes on and on and on, on and on and on. Shakey's got it going on, we still bring the fun.
With decades of great pizza, chicken, and mojos.
Shakey's fun goes on and on.
From era to era to era. The fun goes on. Shakey's 50 years.
The fun goes on at Shakey's.
My future.
Right? What's the plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
There you have it. It's Bacolod Taitung already having an advantage in this part of the match and just one set away para makuha or mapunta sila sa finals. Caitlin. And if we are going to take a look at what happened in set number 2.
Here in set number 2, we saw Salle-Lipa successful in gaining a lead, a considerable lead against Bacolod Taitong, especially courtesy of Riza Mamailiao, who really manned the offense for her team. But midway through the set, we see here Bacolod Taitong slowly but surely picking up the pieces to try and piece back together their offense as well. And they were very, very successful in that, thanks to Rose Almendralejo, who continued to provide from the left wing, and she continued that performance all the way into the end. And of course, pumasok dito si Brianna Ang, who was able to contribute some points from the center and from her blocks. And we see here the number of attacks on the second set. It's very clear that Bacolod Taitong still is on top with 16 attacks against 6 of Salle-Lipa. And now, third set here. Let's see if Bacolod Taitong will. Let's see if Bacolod Taitong will continue their run or will Salle-Lipa try and bounce back.
Yes, and you mentioned earlier nga yung na-contribute dito ni Rose Almendralejo in this part of the match. 14 points and then 14 attacks only after the second set. At simula nga na ng ating set number 3. This is brought to you by Shakey Super Delivery. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and Mojo's now. Hahakot din ng puntos itong batang to. As you can see kanina, no? Dauntless in every set dahil alam niya na nahahabol sila. But we will see if she can be consistent as well. Violation. Automatic is called against Tung.
Salle-Lipa will definitely want to try and improve their defense here in the third set, given that it's a very crucial set since Bacolod Taytong is one set away from booking that finals ticket.
Service error given up by Salle-Lipa. Bulak now serving for Taytong. And an ace. That's the first for set number 3. Excellent floater. And as they say, the setter, solid talaga on the service area yan. Good first ball this time by LaSalle. Off speed pero nabasa yan ni Bulak. Mamayla was there. Chance for Salle-Lipa. Smart play by the setter of Lipa.
That was a successful 1-2 play there by Salle-Lipa. She saw that Bacolod Taytong was sort of erratic and losing composure on the defense there, so she decided to catch them off guard even more.
Yes, that's Althea Dacer. Almendra Leo from the opposite of the block. Attack from the back did not work for Lipa. Dacer will try again. Bulak to the back and Bertolano just putting an end.
Good rally there for both teams, but of course here Bertolano makes something out of that. Very good back set to her there.
What is good about Bacolod Taytong, kahit sino yung ipasok mo, no, nakikita there is really a connection of the setter and then the attacker. Kaya kahit sino yung nasa loob, hindi nahihirapan si Bulak to create plays. And this time, it was an attack down the line, but a good pickup right there. Aldovino was dug. Solo block right here. Chance for LaSalle. Defense was there for Bacolod Taytong, and that's a point earned by Bartolome.
Bartolome making sure that their net defense is still present, and they were successful there given the lack of floor coverage on the side of Salle-Lipa.
Papasok si Sumage, papalitan si Dacer. Taytong having a 1-point lead. Good first ball by De Silva. Hermosura was there and did not work for Taytong. Good defense. And that's a smart move para dito kay Dacer.
Dacer again with the clever drops there, taking matters into her own hands. Seeing that everyone was focused on the front row, so she decided to go long.
Althea Dacer, we are now tied at 4. Cross court, nandun si Ginto. Off the block, Bulak sets this one to Almendra Lejo with a drop from the back, and that will work for Taytong.
Taytong here is slowly gaining momentum despite the very persevering offense of Salle-Lipa. But still, they are only up by 1 point.
Taytong already you mentioned only having a 1-point lead. Ganito rin yung nangyari, no? Sa umpisa nung first set na talagang nagpapalitan lang sila ng puntos. Aldovino hitting from the back. Picked up by Taytong. And Donna getting another point from that quick setup.
Great setup there by Bacolod, Taytong, and De Leon just going long again for that quick attack.
Dalawang kalamangan dito ng Taytong. Made that 3 because of another service ace. That's their second for this set. You like the composure of these two teams. And for Salle-Lipa, kahit sila humahabol, they are still trying to chip in points. And of course, avoiding errors. But not the second time that Bacolod Taytong gets another point from the service area. It's the same spot.
It's been a consistent problem here for Salle-Lipa. They have great difficulty in their first balls that prevents them from just executing the plays that they want, and they'll definitely have to find a remedy for this quickly before Bacolod Taytong makes an even bigger lead.
Pero kanina, may mga instances wherein yung digs and receptions nila maganda, natatimingan nila, but the problem in that naman was they cannot convert it to a point.
Still the same problem that Coach Aimee Mendoza reminded them about, and given that it's already the third set, they'll definitely have to act quicker in trying to follow her reminders.
What an attack from Bertolano. And that smart powered up play was brought to you by Smart's Power All 99. Load now. A lot of power in that last hit. 9 serving 4 is our score. Good first ball by Sales. Set up in the middle, blocked. Somage from the back, too long. Lumalaki na nga ang kalamangan dito ng Bacolod Taytong, kaya mapapatawag ng timeout si Coach Aimee ng Salle-Lipa.
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
My future.
Right? What's a plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
You are still watching the Shakey Super League Girls Volleyball Invitational League Rising Stars Cup. Live po tayo dito sa Lasal Green Hills Gym, Mandaluyong City. And this is semifinals 4 between Bacolod Taytong and Salle-Lipa. At ang mananalo nga dito will advance definitely to the finals. And these two teams have played against each other. And the recent one nga was in the palarong pambansa. Salle-Lipa was the bronze medalist, while Bacolod Taytong was the silver medalist. At dito nagtapat nga sila ulit, and Bacolod Taytong already winning 2 sets against to none of LaSalle. Excellent cross-court attack right there, pero humahabol pa nga sila dito, 6 serving 11. Donna with a miss hit, but still a point for Taytong.
Like what you said, that was a miss hit on the side of De Leon. But still, there's a lack of defense on the side of Salle-Lipa. Their defense system, their floor coverage system is there, but still they're not able to follow through and actually get to that ball in time.
Yes, it's the consistency that we think is lacking in this part of De La Salle-Lipa. Kasi kanina, set number 2, they were able to take the lead and be consistent in getting more points.
Definitely, they'll want to improve on that drive to sort of mend the deficit that they have right now. Because parang nakikisabay lang sila sa Bacolod Taytong and letting Bacolod Taytong dominate this match even further.
Correct, but they cannot just rely on the errors of Bacolod Taytong. And we can see that Taytong is really one of the most offensive teams. Speaking of skill sets and of course of the players that contributes to the whole team's score. And in that last play, it was Rose Almendralejo without any blockers. Good first ball. You like that setup, Mamaylao, not really hitting that hard. Just enough for them to get a point and outsmarting the defense of Bacolod Taytong. Team captain, kinausap dito ng referees. So just explaining the switching of the players. Palitan ng tao on the side of Lipa. 16 checks in. That's Atienza replacing Deser on the floor. Wow, sharp serve. Attack from the back, picked up by Libang. Pupunta sa likod. Just maximizing the blocker's hands in that last play. Very clever by Aldovino. Salle-Lipa down here, 8 serving 14. Serve goes out. Aangat ang kalamangan ng Bacolod Taytong. Team captain now serving for Taytong. Setting this one to Mamaylao. A bit of miscommunication on the play and that attack goes out. Serving 8. On deck is the team captain. First service error given up by Taytong.
That was a much needed side out opportunity, chance for Salle-Lipa, and hopefully this will try and help them spark a run of points, given that Bacolod Taytong is now leading by a very large margin.
And when you say, yes, maximizing, you're just on cue right there, Caitlin, as Salle-Lipa earns a point from the service area.
Of course, that is one of the key players of LaSalle, their team captain, Daniel Aldovino, who is providing some points here and chances for LaSalle to hopefully bounce back in this set.
Good play, but that just is too wide for Bartolome. Cutting down the lead. Aldovino serving 11, serving 16. 5 lang ang hinahabol nila dito. At ipasa ko muna kay Diana for this report.
And Caitlin, I spoke with team captain Daniel Aldovino of De La Salle-Lipa earlier, and she shared to me how this is just her first year leading the team. She admitted that she's unsure of why she was chosen for the role because unlike most team captains, she's not the loud or extroverted type. So for the past leagues they played in and now here in the Shakey's GVIL, she's just using every chance to figure out that reason and hopefully prove that she deserves a captain spot. She's always just taking it one day, one training, one game at a time. Sheila and Caitlin?
Well, Caitlin, do you think ba kapag team captain ka, dapat ikaw yung pinakamagaling? Dapat ba ikaw yung may pinakamaraming points na nakukuha every game?
No, definitely. I don't think that leadership is equal to how loud you are, how extroverted you are, but still, what you're able to display in front of your team and how much of a role model you are. And seeing as how Aldovina is performing right now, it's very clear as to why she's the team captain. And she's really the one providing some points here for her team.
Yes, definitely, no? Kapag maganda ang iyong performance, madadala mo yung team mo eh. Kumbaga, you are the one pulling them up every time your performance is really good on the floor. And we talk about good. Ang ganda nga ng rally na nakikita natin, but it was a better defense at the net by Taitung.
Good rally here we saw from both teams. A solid spike on the side of Lipa, but an even better block by Bacolod Taitung.
Leading here by 6, that is Rose Almendralejo. Like one of the key players and really did a lot of points during set number 2. Loving the effort right there by everyone on the floor for Taitung, and that one is a point earned at the net. And you have Dosaila. Kakapasok lang niya ni Dosaila and she already contributed points. Substitution on the floor again for Lipa. Dacer is checking back in. Bacolod Taitung only needing a few more points for this part of the match. We'll see if Salle-Lipa can cope and extend this one. And that's an attack coming from the opposite by Almendralejo.
Great setup there by Bulak, but of course, very reliable si Almendralejo on that side of the court. Bringing her team to the 20s now in set number 3.
Timeout called right here. Let's listen in.
Ang taas ng bola. Training nyo na to Pag kayo na, next year na yun. Hindi nagmumukha dyan ang batibot. Dapat nakikita ako, handa na ako for next year. Kaya kayo nihanda, binabangko ko na nga iba. Lord sa inyo to. Let's go! Salle-Lipa! Salle-Lipa!
That huddle was powered by Smart 5G. Alam mo ba yung batibot, Caitlin?
No, I do not know what that word means. Kindly enlighten me.
Oh, Batibot is a children's program in the 90s. And para siyang Sesame Street Filipino version. So a lot of characters na syempre may mga lessons ka na makukuha every episode. Minsan it is equivalent to pa-cute yung batibot. Kumbaga, in that last huddle by Coach Aimee, di ba wag kayong batibot? Ibig sabihin parang saling pusa. You have to play your role at hindi lang kayo nandyan para display. Well, that's how I interpret it. But we'll see. Kasi lumalaki na nga dito ang kalamangan ng Bacolod Taitung. 21 serving 12. Sharp serve. Yan, naibalik pa yan. That is a blessing in disguise for the Salle-Lipa.
That was an over-receive on their side, but of course, Dacer just delivering that over the net. We've seen her do that a couple of times in our game today.
No, Dacer also has her ways on how to pitch in points. But consistency is the key for La Salle-Lipa. Block right there. Babalik dito ng Taitung, but forces an attack error.
That was not the best of setups there for the Saila. Medyo parang nalunod siya there trying to get that spike, but still there's a lot of room for them to make errors given how much they're leading now.
Good pickup right there by Ginto, and La Salle-Lipa able to convert that to a point.
Great cross-court hit there by La Salle-Lipa. No defenders there also to pick that up.
3 straight points ang trinabaho dito ng La Salle-Lipa. And finally, that is the attack na kanina pa gustong gawin ni Dosaila. So after getting a point, previously nagka-error siya and then she was able to recover.
But kudos also to Yan Bulak. She was able to bring that ball over to Dosaila.
Ginto with the first ball. Down the line attack. That will work for Salle-Lipa.
Seems like Salle-Lipa is really fighting right now against Bacolod Taitong, and Coach Amy Mendoza's timeout earlier seems to be working.
Baka sila kilala yung batibot. Yeah, but back to the ball game. And you mentioned this one earlier, Caitlin, na kapag maganda yung first ball, nakakagawa ng magandang setup itong Salle-Lipa, but they just cannot be consistent in that department. Another timeout called right here. Magbabalik po kami.
Hindi aabot ang data. Nice!
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
My future.
Right? What's the plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
Bacolod Tung inching closer to a final seat. But here, Salle-Lipa still trying their best para mabawi o makakuha pa ng panalo dito. Except in that last sequence as Tung earns another point and Ang back on the floor replacing the team captain. (23 serving 17). An ace by Bertolano.
We've seen that before in the previous sets there by Bertolano, and she really likes to go for that hard-to-reach corners. And now she's brought her team to match point.
One service ace, one service error. Point save para dito sa Salle-Lipa. Sumagaysay on deck for Coach Amy. We'll see if Bacolod will be able to get this one. Chance for Tung. Down the line, and that finds, the line getting another point, and it was Dosaila again ang nakapuntos in that last sequence. That's it. Bacolod Tung will advance to the finals and move closer to the volleyball crown. Pero hindi natin na pwedeng baliwalain ang effort na pinakita dito ng Salle-Lipa. It wasn't easy. Makatapat ulit itong Bacolod Tung. So kudos to both teams and of course to these players who really showed their hearts out in every game. And the coaches as well. We congratulate the coaches of Bacolod Tung, headed by Coach Ian Macariola. And on the other side, it's Coach Amy Mendoza. At makikita pa nga natin itong dalawang kuponan na to. But we will see, and imagine 30 teams down to 4, down to 2. And there you have it, 25-18 is our score. And when we return, we will present to you our highlights and MVP of the match.
Hindi aabot ang data. Nice!
Don't worry. Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now.
The fun goes on and on and on, on and on and on.
of great pizza, chicken, and mojos.
Shakey's fun goes on and on.
From era to era to era. The fun goes on. Shakey's 50 years.
The fun goes on at Shakey's.
My future.
Right? What's the plan? I have a plan. The new Smart Junior Plan. Made for me. For only learning, only experiences, only connections at just $4.99. It's a plan as good as yours. New Smart Junior Plan.
25-20, 25-15, and 25-18. That is our tally, and the Thunderbolts staying perfect and marching to their second straight finals. At eto na nga, we will present to you our MVP of the match, and this is brought to you by Shakey's. Order your favorite thin crust pizza and chicken and mojos now. She has been really vital since the beginning for Bacolod Taitung. And sino bang napili mong MVP of the match, Caitlin?
Well, it's none other than Rose Almendralejo. She was there to really pick up her team in the second set when they were on a deficit. And she continued to perform in the third set, providing that firepower, offensive firepower for Bacolod Taitung.
At kasama na nga siya ngayon ng ating courtside reporter na si Diana.
Thank you, Sheila and Caitlin. Of course, Rose, congratulations for getting that MVP title of the match and for securing the last spot in the finals round of this year's Shakey's GVIL. Now, balikan muna natin yung naging laro nyo kanina. You've won 3 straight sets, pero nakita natin na medyo lumalapit minsan yung score ng De La Salle-Lipa sa inyo. So, how did your team manage to pull away and eventually get this win for this match?
Ganun na nga yung sabi ng coaches. One good pass lang. Tapos, sabi din ng teammates ko, communicate lang. Kahit madikit pa yung score, kahit ilang pang score o ilang points pa makukuha nila. Minomotivate talaga kami ng coaches. Sabi ng coaches, one good pass lang, wag lang bibitaw sa huli.
Alright, so just like other teams as well, you're also fresh off from the palarong pambansa and you've had non-stop games for GVIL. Andun yung pagod, nandoon na talaga. So how does it feel for you na eto na just one step closer to the championship title?
Sabi ko sa sarili ko, pagod lang yan, pagod lang. Sabi ko, babawi kami sa NU. So ngayon, binigay ni Lord, babalik ulit kami ng championship. So sabi din ng parents ko, especially yung mama ko, pagod lang yan, push lang, wag ka bibitaw sa huli.
Now Rose, if you want to greet anyone, friends, family, this is the time.
First of all, nagpapasalamat kami sa Mizuno Sportisol. Salamat din sa family ko, Almendralejo, Pama, Escanillas, and sa Thunderbolts family, maraming salamat po.
Again, Rose, congratulations to you, your team, and the whole Bacolod Taitung community. We'll for sure see more of her tomorrow. But for now, that's it for our MVP of the match. Sheila and Caitlin, balik sa inyo.
Thank you so much, Diana. And again, congratulations to Rose Almendralejo and the Bacolod Taitung for winning this game. At makikita nga natin sila in the finals. Now let's check out our game highlights, and this is Smart Powered Up Plays brought to you by Smart's Power All 99 with 10 gig of data, only access to Facebook or TikTok, plus unlimited calls and texts to all load now.
So in set number 1, we saw that there was an exchange of points here from both teams. They were utilizing all their attackers, but we started to see the problem of La Salle-Lipa in their defense, and Bacolod Taitung definitely took advantage of that following the first set, and they were able really to maximize all their attackers, lalo ni De Leon and Almendralejo, and that carried over into set number 2 for a moment. La Salle-Lipa was the one leading, but
nakuha nilang mauna o yung lamang at the beginning of set number 2, but it was just too much power and yung composure dito ng Bacolod Taitung, yun talaga yung nakita natin, and we saw a lot of points by Rose Almendralejo in that part of the game, and that was really big for the girls of Coach Ian Macariola. At from there, when they were able to tie the game at 13, hindi na nga promeno itong Bacolod Taitung and taking over that win against La Salle-Lipa.
they carried over that momentum onto the third set, and that's why si Rose Almendralejo finished this game with 18 points, all of which were from attacks. But of course, she wasn't alone in that effort, as her teammates really backed her up, especially in set number 3. And we saw a couple of their second stringers as well towards the latter part of the set.
Alam mo, hindi pa dito nababad itong si Brianna Ang, no? Pero ganun pa rin kaganda ang naging performance dito ng Bacolod Taytong. We also saw some contributions for Red Tolano. Good setup by Bulak. And we have Zarina Dozaila who was the one, contributing points towards the end of that set. Ana Hermosura as well, and good digs by the libero, of course, Tomas and Espinosa. And definitely, we saw the leadership of Donna De Leon as their team captain, and that is Bacolod Taytong dominating this match against the Salle-Lipa 25-20, 25-15, and 25-18. At syempre, hindi natin na pwedeng nakalimutan yung mga naging contributions dito ng performance as well of Bacolod Taytong de la Salle-Lipa as you break down the numbers for us, Caitlin.
For the attacks we see here, of course, Bacolod Taytong dominating 45 against 24, and their blocks 6 against 3. And of course, the aces that we saw a lot in this game, 8 against 5. So we see here how much of a powerhouse this team is, Bacolod Taytong, with a really star-studded lineup for their attacking unit. But of course, great effort still by the girls from the South, De La Salle-Lipa, still standing their ground against this very powerful team. And we'll see them again in the bronze medal match against EAC.
Definitely, and there you go. Our cast is complete. EAC and NU won against EAC, kaya naman NU ang pupunta sa finals, and Bacolod Taytong winning straight against De La Salle-Lipa at sila ang magtatapat for our finals match. And EAC and De La Salle-Lipa naman ang maglalaban for bronze. So it's going to be a really interesting and exciting match for all of you volleyball fans. Para naman sa Division 2, nakikita natin kung sino yung nagtatapat dito. This is Domoskula going up against Everest. Two international schools ang magtatapat for our finals, and this is St. Paul College Pasig going up against ICA. Again, battle for bronze naman ang paglalabanan nitong dalawang koponan na ito. At syempre, don't miss out our last day, and you will be seeing really interesting matches. At ito na, todo na to. Wala na nga susunod na laro. So, all volleyball fans, we are inviting you to watch the games live dito sa La Salle Gymnasium in San Juan City. On behalf of my partner, of course, Caitlin Bernal, and our courtside reporter, Diana Igual, this is Sheila Salaysay, and thank you for watching the 2025 Shakey Super League Girls Volleyball Invitational League Rising Stars Cup.